I was favorably inclined by your answers, particularly that your role as the archivist is ministerial with regard to certifying amendments to the Constitution. Also, on your, I think, forthright answer on the, whether or not you'd force people to cover their T-shirts. And I thought those were great responses. I guess I'm a little bit sort of torn, though, with the whole idea of that, your Twitter is private. We tell our kids it's not, and be careful what you post on Twitter. Everybody knows that. And so the problem is that, see, if I have an intern in my office, we actually do look at their Twitter. And if they say bad things about people's ethnicity or their private life, they make sort of aspersions or act as if they're bigoted in any way, we won't hire them as an intern, much less as a person. So, this is advice for everybody. You got to really be careful what you post. Now, being a liberal should not disqualify you. But the one question on whether or not, the Library of Congress should take down flags does kind of go to the heart of what we would do with records and things, and whether or not, that shows a bias that might enter into the decision-making, as an archivist. And so it does worry me. Not that you're liberal. I mean, that doesn't, I think if we got rid of liberals, we might not have a lot of librarians or archivists, frankly. But I am worried about the idea that you would, advise people at the Library of Congress about, taking down religious flags in a public place. I think it goes against the law, but then in not answering the actual issue, and I know it's difficult in a cross-examination to decide, but by not answering the subject about religious flags, it worries me that what we're getting is a public place as opposed to, what you say in private, which may not meld together. Do you have any comment on that?
Thank you, Mr. Ranking Member, for that question. If I am confirmed as Archivist of the United States, without reservation, I will welcome all Americans to the National Archives. I will welcome them enthusiastically to the National Archives. I stand 100% behind that sentiment. I have a record of doing so at the Library of Congress, where I oversaw visitor services for several years, and I will continue in that tradition. And you have my promise and my word on that.